In today's update, I want to show you the simple math behind a $7 XRP and why I think that we'll go to that level with ease. And we're just using real data, conservative assumptions, and showing you the simple math. If you guys want to refute it, feel free to hit us in the comment section down below. We're open to all feedback. And I'm just going to present this data to you in a short, concise video here today. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Just got done with a tremendous Discord weekly call. And if you guys are looking to get tapped in with that, just go through Patreon to get access to Discord. We'd love to have you in the family. And we do it every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Hopefully we'll see you in there here shortly. But this is what I'm looking at right now. Dom Trader View 2 shows us the Bitcoin bottom cycle overlay. When are we going to top out this cycle? Now, we very well could have already topped out for Bitcoin at 124,000 this month, but we've seen historically a double top formation on Bitcoin at the end of these cycles, and this would kind of align with our cycle overlay, what we've seen in the previous cycles, where from 2015 to 2017, bottom to top, it took 1,067 days. From 2018 bottom to 2021 top, it took 1,060 days. And now we are about 1,005 days from the 2022 bottom to where we were at yesterday. Okay, because Dom put this post out yesterday. Now, if you add another 55 days, this actually puts us out to October 16th, which, funny enough, this is the exact timeline that I've been calling for XRP and some of these other altcoins to really rally up until their ETFs go live. And so could we see another Bitcoin top come in during that time frame? I think it's likely. And I also think that you're going to see short-term tops come in on XRP and many of these other altcoins. And I'm specifically talking about that $7 target for XRP. Now, where we're at right now is we were expecting downward action into this week when we had Jerome Powell speaking yesterday. But as I'd mentioned, most of that bleeding out, most of that activity had kind of played out, all leading up until Jerome Powell started speaking. And then it was off to the races once again. Back above $3 for XRP. We closed off the day at 308. And what I love to see is that we back tested 296, which was an important Fibonacci level to flip back into support. And we perfectly tapped off that level. And here we are hanging out above $3 once again. How quickly things can change, right? Where earlier this week, everybody's thinking, okay, I can buy, XRP at 250. I can sell my bag of XRP now and buy back in lower. And just like that, in a blink of an eye, you've seen XRP back above $3. But I've drawn a new line. So all I've added to my chart here recently has been this new green vertical line, which is on Friday, October 17th. By this date, I am expecting the XRP and Solana, along with maybe a few other ETFs, to be live. You also have DC FinTech Week, which is taking place this week as well, where Brad Garlinghouse will be on the same stage as SEC Chair Paul Atkins. And of course, yesterday, we got the mandate and the final filing from the SEC versus Ripple case. Both appeals are dropped. The case is officially and finally over for the 589th time. But it's officially done. And so the stage is now set. Between now and October, same thing happened for Bitcoin and Ethereum, where they both rallied leading up to the ETFs going live. And this is the setup that we have for XRP and some of our favorite altcoins. To me, this is kind of like the finish line, where you could see the cycle top for our favorite altcoins maybe come in this year right before this date, or leading up to this date. This is it. This is the window of opportunity right in here. And I'm expecting $4 to $5 XRP to be coming in by September 7th, and then a $7 XRP to be coming in by October 17th. Let's run you through the update here, though. A bunch of XRP ETF filings have been updated yesterday. This is almost certainly due to feedback from the SEC, and it's a good sign, but also mostly expected from James Seyffart. James has to be careful of Bloomberg intelligence. He can't pump up XRP too much. But you're looking at Grayscale, Bitwise, WisdomTree, 21 Shares, Franklin, CoinShares, and Canary, all updating their S1s, getting ready to go live with their XRP ETFs. Now, Nate Garassi points out here the shift. And this is the shift that I want you guys to pay attention to, because this is the hard data. No clickbait, no hopium, no nonsense. I'm just delivering you the real data that we're now getting. And this shows you the shift from inflows that were pouring into Bitcoin. Now they're pouring into Ethereum. And yay, we're cheering for Ethereum. Finally, after 1 year, Ethereum hits a new all-time high. Yay, Ethereum. Love it. Nothing but positivity for me. Finally, the inflows have shifted from Bitcoin over to Ethereum. What's happened? Ethereum finally goes and hits a new all-time high. Spot Ethereum inflows of 340 million yesterday. So far in August, Ethereum inflows have 2.8 billion. Bitcoin, only 1.2 billion of outflows, actually. So money's been flowing out of Bitcoin and going into Ethereum. And since the beginning of July, this is massive, 8.2 billion of inflows into Ethereum and 4.8 billion of inflows into Bitcoin. So in August, more money's coming out of Bitcoin than it is coming in. And since July, way more, almost twice as much money has poured into the Ethereum ETFs than Bitcoin. And like he says, notable recent shift. Now we know, what we're working with, right? All this speculation on the inflows that we'd see into the XRP ETFs, obviously we're still speculating to a point, but now we can reference hard data that we're seeing on the Ethereum ETFs. And you guys are seeing it. I mean, XRP has way more attention than Ethereum right now. I mean, way more bullish momentum behind it. It's already hit a new all-time high before the ETFs go live. So just add up all these catalysts on top of this hard data. If anybody wants to refute what Nate Garassi's sharing, go ahead. But this is straight from Bloomberg Intelligence. I mean, this is hard data that nobody can refute. Now we get into the multiplier. What happens when these inflows come into XRP? Well, yesterday, when Jerome Powell started speaking, we started to pump. And XRP grew, about 30 cents yesterday. Cooled off a little bit, but, we were down at 279. We pumped all the way up to 310. I think we were over 310 at one point. Massive rally for XRP. But here's what's so interesting. This was the multiplier that we saw yesterday. 26.65 million of inflows during a 30-minute period, and XRP's market cap grew by 15 billion. That's a multiplier of 562x. Very, very dramatic. Now, funny enough, Canary Capital CEO was on the Paul Barron podcast, and he predicted that we would see 5 billion flow into the XRP ETFs in the first month. Now, this is the Crypto Basic putting together a little bit of math, right? And they come on down here and they say, what would happen to XRP's price if it got 5 billion of inflows? And they take Dom Trader View 2's, his example of a 272x market cap multiplier, and this was shared back in May earlier of this year. So this was another example, XRP's market cap growing by 16.6 billion off of only 61 million of inflows, a 272x multiplier. Now, not quite as dramatic as the 562x that we saw off this 26 million of inflows yesterday. That was a very, very aggressive push. But in this article, right, Crypto Basic, they go on down here to say, okay, this is what, would happen if we saw a 272x multiplier. It would go to $26 per token. Okay? But if you scroll on down, they ask Google Gemini, they use the AI, they're using AI to backtest this. And the AI says that maybe we should use more modest multipliers of 10x and 15x for its valuation. Even though there's no data right now that shows us the multiplier on XRP is only 10 or 15x. The average multiplier that I'm seeing on any given time frame, whether it be a few hours, a 12-hour period, a couple days, during November, I took a snapshot of over 30 trading days, the inflows and the outflows and what the average multiplier was. And my average, it was over 100. So on a regular basis, on shorter time frames and even more long drawn out time frames, I'm seeing a multiplier that's well over 100. But maybe that's too much. So let's take it even more conservative. Let's run with the target, the number that Canary Capital CEO put out, 5 billion of inflows in the first month. And let's slap on a conservative multiplier of just 50. Just 50. 50x multiplier on 5 billion of inflows is 250 billion of market cap growth. Now, since I'm bad at math, I had to ask Google, what's 180 billion plus 250 billion? It's 430 billion. Okay. Now, what numbers are those? The 180 billion is XRP's market cap today. It's just shy of 180 billion. Let's round off for simple math. We add the 250 billion of market cap growth that you could see in a 1 month time frame. And I think, if you're talking about inflows over 1 month, that's not going to be an aggressive multiplier like the 500x multiplier that we saw yesterday during a 30-minute window, where that order book's just getting bid up. The inflows are very aggressive. The multiplier is 500x. During a 1 month snapshot, the inflows are going to be consistent. They can still be aggressive, but it's over a drawn out period, so that multiplier is going to be less. So let's take it 10x less, a 50x multiplier. This is very, very conservative. What happens? Well, from a market cap standpoint, you add 180 billion plus 250 billion, 430 billion. Let's go to our market cap calculator. What does it tell us? It tells us that XRP is going to $7. That's what it tells us right here. Right? And now I round up to 60 billion on the circulating supply. Right now it's like 59.4 billion. But over the next couple months, we could have a couple hundred more million XRP go into circulating supply. So if you want to fudge with that, you can a little bit. But at a $7 XRP, 60 billion circulating supply, you're right at that 420 billion of market cap, right? So I just showed you right here that, based off those inflows and a 50x multiplier, you're looking at XRP's market cap going to 430 billion. Well, you're right in that ballpark of $7 to $8 XRP. Now, here's the best part though. This is $7 XRP with ease before the ETFs go live. After the ETFs go live, well, then you enter a new reality. And then we'll have a level playing field when it comes to the ETFs. It won't just be Bitcoin and Ethereum are the only, game in town. You'll have other options. And as we've seen here now, it's hard data. It's not clickbait. It's not speculation. We're seeing the inflows now have shifted from Bitcoin to Ethereum. Full stop. That's just a fact. What I'm giving you is hard data, simple math, conservative assumptions. I'm plugging it into my time frame and my timeline. And I know some people get triggered by my targets and timeframes. They're just free. It's free analysis. You can hit the thumbs down. You can leave me a comment and tell me how much you disagree. But what I encourage you to do, what I challenge you to do, is refute the data, refute the conservative assumptions, and refute the simple math. If you can do that respectively, we can have a conversation. Because maybe I am too bullish. Maybe I'm too conservative, right? You start to get a little bit more excited with those numbers. We're having some fun. But this is why I titled the video $7 with ease. And this is before the ETFs. After the ETFs, into the end of this year, into next year, this is when I think we get to double-digit XRP price. Stay locked in, stay ready. It's coming, and it's going to be coming here soon. If you guys want to get tapped in, everything's at ZachRector.com. I greatly appreciate your support, and I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. God bless you and your family. Thank you. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.